I'm currently speaking with Dr. Holly Dietz. Hi, Holly. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Do you want to start off by giving us just a little bit of background about yourself?
Yes, I'm a veterinarian working in Albuquerque. I do both small animal and equine reproduction. Did my undergraduate at Mexico State and then my veterinary program at Fort Collins at Colorado State. So I've been practicing about 25 years.
Okay. What would you say is the hardest part of your road to becoming a veterinarian?
The first 2 years of your vet school. It's all lecture, 8 to 5, every day, 5 days a week. So it was pretty rigorous. Yeah,
Okay.
the last 2 years are easier.
Okay. And would you say that when in your schooling career did you get down the balance of your life versus your schoolwork versus your work life? Did you have it down in undergrad, or was that something you had to refigure out in vet school?
Well, vet school, there was a few people that were married in vet school. One that I know of had children um, out of the 100 and, I don't know, 30 people in our class. So I think, yeah, your life is kind of on hold while you're in vet school. Um, and then once you graduate, then to me, you get your life back because you can just get a regular job. So, you know, the first few years after vet school, yeah, you get your life back.
What's the biggest benefit you've seen as the result of becoming a veterinarian?
Um, One, I get to do something I like to do, and the variety that I see every day, it's always different, so it's always challenging. So you've got to like a challenge and work through problems. Um, and I like that I can pretty much get a job anywhere I want. There's always a demand for veterinarians, and you can. I also like that I can set up my own banner and just start a practice all on my own. That I don't have to work under anybody else. You can, but you don't have to.
Okay. Have you run into any legal issues during your career? Are legal issues something that you're thinking about pretty frequently? Um,
Always. You always have to be concerned for public safety because in small animal, um, people don't realize that when we're handling their dogs, they're fearful. And so dogs are fear biters, and people want to comfort and try and help, and it actually ends up being posing a liability. So, so you're always having to think safety for the person who's on the other side. So that and if you do the wrong thing, you worry about being sued. That certainly hasn't been in the forefront of mind, but I certainly know people who have been sued and had to go up in front of the board for um, anything. A lot of, if the bill is really high and people are unhappy with the animal, if their animal died, they want to put the blame on somebody. So you always have to write up your notes to protect yourself so that if something goes wrong, you're covered and they will review how you handled it. So I think it's definitely always a concern. You should always have to worry about it.
okay.
Yeah.
And how would you compare the safety with horses compared to other animals, just since they're so big? Have you ever been injured working with horses? Is that, you know, does that hinder you in doing your job sometimes?
I've never been injured, in my work with horses, but with the reproduction, they're always in stocks. I do think having grown up with horses and having the ability to read their body language to know when to get out of their space um, and when to be in the right place at the right time. To me, with horses, you have to know that, and so that sometimes is a little hard to teach. That is just experience, and so I think somebody going into vet school that has had no experience with horses and decides they want to be a horse vet, me that's going to be difficult because it just you're likely to get hurt. Yeah. So
Um, And then, so how long after becoming a veterinarian were you in a comfortable financial situation? No more loans or anything like that, where you were really comfortable financially?
Well, I mean, for me, but it's different. It's different now because the cost of education has gotten so high, and our incomes have not gone up to cover the cost. So, um, when I was doing it, the cost of the tuition wasn't as high, and you got out and made some money. So I'd say after the first probably 3 to 4 years, um, I had a decent income if I was working full time. Now, I definitely the debt that I've heard first and second year grads out of vet school that they've taken on is huge, and it will take them. The girl at the office, it'll take her 15 years to pay her debt. So that's why I think you have to really consider how much it costs and how much you want to do it. I mean, you make a good living, but you are going to have a big debt to pay off. So 10 years would be my guess.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that New Mexico is a good place to practice veterinary medicine? And is it a good place to do the reproductive work that you do with horses?
I think for small animal, it's good, and I just because it's this city, Albuquerque's a big city. For reproduction, no. I think that the business after 2008, um, it the economy took a dive, and so a lot of people who breed horses got out of the business or cut their herds way back. So several of the other vets in New Mexico who did reproduction moved to Oklahoma that I knew of in Texas, where there's more breeding going on. So no, if you're going to be strictly reproduction, that's why I do both. I'm glad I continue to do mixed practice so that I could step right back into small animal. So yeah.
Okay. If you could pick one thing, what would you say was the key to succeeding in becoming a veterinarian?
One thing that that helped me succeed in becoming a veterinarian, I think I'm being good with people. Um, you have to be able to get along with people, and um, I don't really think loving animals. I think everybody loves animals. I think it's really being able to get along with people, and I think that's in any job. Um, you have to be able to relate with people and their animals and show a keen interest.
Okay. Awesome. Well, those are all the questions I have for you. Thank you so much for being here with us, and um, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Talk to you soon.
You too. Bye.